Maurizio would like to know, my dev team already covers APIs with unit tests. So what tests do you suggest to a dedicated automation team to implement? I want to avoid duplicating tests, but at the same time would like to add another layer of tests, comparing with a product feature. Usually we do UT and then end-to-end tests with Selenium, for example.
Okay,
what
so
what does UT mean? What does UT mean,
like
Maurizio?
user testing, like maybe like UAT kind of stuff. But
Oh, okay.
So for that, I would say to actually look at the unit tests and see, because unit tests should be not going over a network to an API. They should be within the unit. So they would be testing the controllers for the API, but not the full like API call and everything. So, and he says UT is unit tests. So
yeah.
that's
Okay.
better. So yeah, I would look at those first because we have unit tests against our controllers, but I still am writing API tests against the same API functions because it is getting hit differently. Maybe there's, again, the third-party APIs. Unit tests have mocking quite a bit, which means that they're faking some of the functionality that's going on so that they're not going across the internet, because that's what a unit test is. So an integration test, the API test, should be hitting the API, going across the internet and checking things like that. So it may feel like duplication, but it shouldn't be if the unit tests are true unit tests.
Okay.
So what was the other part of that question? I'm sorry, I got stuck on that.
So the first part was what test do you suggest to a dedicated team to implement? The second part was I want to avoid duplicating tests, but at the same time would like to add another layer of tests.
Right. So, and you can also do kind of scenario, like it doesn't just have to be I'm hitting this endpoint and seeing what response I get. You can do kind of scenario or end-to-end testing. You can do that with an API, just the same way that you would do with a UI. So like do the full life cycle of an object kind of thing. So do a create, read, update, read again, make sure it was updated, delete, read, make sure it's gone, that kind of thing. So you can do, not just one API call. It kind of gets a little bit messy in the in the automation, but you can. It doesn't just have to be like calling one endpoint and then I'm done.
Okay, so you can have a real user story kind of. They're going to go here, they're going to do this, blah blah, and you can recreate that just via the API. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you for that question, Maurizio. I hope that answered your question.